1972, and Ooty, the Queen of Hill Station, is now in its 200th year. I'm mighty glad to be part of this great hill station, a place with a great deal of history. In fact, it's steeped in history and discovered and developed by the British 200 years ago. Ooty now stands as one of the premier hill stations of the world. And part of Ooty, there are so many heritage institutions to enhance the prestige of this very beautiful place. And standing very tall and standing right on top is the assembly rooms. And being as the Honorary Secretary of this great iconic institution for the past about 40 years, I take a lot of pride in how this place has served so many generations. This hill station, this beautiful institution, the history of this place has been very much discussed, has been very much documented and all this. And it was back in 1886 that it takes off its cut-off date, and as such in 1986 we celebrated in a very grand manner the centenary of this institution. Its trust deed, which is drafted by and created by Lady Wellington, was in 1923. So this is assembly. The trust deed itself is just a year from now. It's going to be 100 years. It has started off as a ballroom to serve the armed forces of the British at that time, the convalescing soldiers, because Ooty was then part of a great Nilgiri sanatorium for people coming here with different forms of injury and all that stuff. After that, it served as a ballroom, and then it served as a place for promoting drama and allied activities and all this stuff, before it moved on to becoming a movie hall and then a talkie hall, and slowly it became one of India's kind of very unique sort of cinema houses. It was in around 1930s that the assembly room started with its screening of multi-language, different language films, and the first Tamil movie Chintamani was also screened here. This trust, it became so strong that the entire country, people, tourists and everything used to come here and express awe at this place. As it moved on, this cinema house, it screened great classics like The Sound of Music, the great classic Ten Commandments, Ben-Hur. That is the greatness of this institution. This theatre has, like I said earlier, has touched so many generations of people that though they have settled in different parts of the world and different parts of India, like you can say New York and London, Dubai and wherever, every one of them, they have some sort of a memory about this assembly room right from school days. This has been so much part of their lives. Whenever they think of Ooty, they just can't help think of assembly rooms first, because this had right from then been a way of life, and it still continues to be a way of life. Around 2017, 2015, I should say, when analog gave way to, and the conventional form of showing cinemas gave way to a digital form and all that, it moved on, and then that is when the screen became. We thought that all the items which had been used over the years for screening movies like this beautiful projector and as allied things like we have the carbons and the mirrors and all that. We thought how to preserve them, and that is how the museum came into being, and the Assam Cine Museum, which, if I may say so, is the only one of its kind in the country. And as coming back to assembly rooms as such, everybody is saying the other forms of competition, like the home theatre, all those things will in one way or the other lead to the closure of assembly rooms. But then the way assembly rooms is going, people who have not been coming for many, many years have started coming back to assembly rooms, and then their generations to follow have also started the habit. Like. So this institution, which has survived all kinds of challenges for the last more than nearly about 130 or little more than that, I am very sure will survive, will go on for another century or so.